trespass. The hunt. Sage hungers.
Yes. Very well.
Okay, welcome everybody to the next installment of my Wargroove series. Thank you for the support thus far. Obviously the first thing I do here is bring the archer in just to weaken the unit so that the unit that goes into melee and finish it off won't actually experience a counterattack. After that, my plan is to bring the commander to the front. You kind of want them actively involved in any battles that are going on simply because they're the only unit that heals passively, and of course they have a groove that builds up the more that they fight. So that's why in this case we're leading with Emmerich for the entire map and using the units in the background to just basically finish folks off, you know, flag buildings, etc. One thing I did want to point out, this was the first map that the visibility feature is introduced, and I just wanted to clarify that the dogs, you can actually bring up their information screen compared to other units, and visibility is one of the statistics tracked there. The dogs don't actually see further, but they do have the benefit of seeing through trees, which other units do not. Okay, we're continuing on, basically continuing to lead with Emmerich and using him to draw out the enemy forces. Now obviously one of the dogs got hit, but they were in the woods, so they're going to be able to heal just fine. Still, we're going to bring up units from the back, finish them off, keep the dogs at full health because their visibility is somewhat useful, and it just happens to match the pacing here. We are going to start branching off in the south just to flag that other village down there, and there's also a village up to the northwest of where everybody is right now that is probably worth flagging for the meantime. The thing about this map is there's actually enemy units throughout the forest, and you just do not have the time or resources to address them all, to control everything. And now we get the barracks, so of course we can start amplifying our army, and all the villages we flagged up until now will be beneficial. In this case, I probably should have flagged the village first just because we still have visibility in this area before moving the dog away, but as you can see, it doesn't actually matter because even though there was a fog of war, we did know that there was a village there that could be seized. And of course, I bring the wagon out now because we've basically peeled off our pikemen to flag some of the outlying villages, so now we need to bring them more to the front, because now that we've crossed the bridge, you're going to see that the real fight is going to begin. Now that we've crossed the bridge, Sedge activates, and all of his units are going to start crawling out of the woodwork, including all of his units in the north that are basically going to be trying to stop us. As you can see now, we've got Emarek's groove all charged up, so that's part of the reason you want your commander involved in every fight possible.
Huh?
Yes.
What?
This should protect us.
Okay, here I'm just using the wagon to move the pikemen a couple more squares to set up the other pikemen to be able to get a critical hit against a unit that is already weak to him. That more or less neutralizes the enemy knight. Right here is a handy little technique you see of kind of leapfrogging. When you got two pikemen together, one can leapfrog over the other to get a critical hit, and the one that got jumped over can then leapfrog to also get a critical hit. There I placed the knight in such a way that its max distance would lead to hitting the barracks, increasing my chances to get a critical strike against it. Okay, with the enemy pikemen moving away, victory here is pretty easy simply because both my pair of dogs and pair of pikemen can set up for crits against the barracks. So this was an overwhelming victory at this point.
It will catch you!